Hey everybody! It is Thursday, March 27th, and welcome to another edition of Leonard Leans Left. While it's still legal for me at the moment, but of course I am an American citizen and I am white, which gives me a little more cushion than most people in today's world. Hey, how you doing? But you know who it isn't legal for? Is a Turkish student. I don't know if you've seen this video. She gets kidnapped by these masked people. She goes outside to take a walk at Tufts University, Massachusetts. And this dude comes up to her, stops her, and then these masked dudes just appear and surround her, and they handcuff her, put her in a car or vehicle, and she's disappeared. Come to find out she's in Louisiana. Once again, just like Khalil Mahmoud, no crime alleged except for she supports Hamas, some vague reference to that she supports Hamas. How did I get signed out? This is America, man. What are we doing, really? What am I doing here? I don't know how I got logged out of the chat box. Well, somehow I did. Let's see if I can remember the password. Oh no, not this again. They gotta verify all this shit. This is unbelievable. I can't believe. Have to go through this again. But anyway, just like Mahmoud Khalil, I said no crime is alleged to be committed except some vague reference that they support Hamas. No hearing, no due process. I said no proof given that she supports Hamas, just that they did. And the people that know her, I think I did it. The people that know her said she wasn't even involved in protests. Apparently her only crime was she wrote an op-ed piece for the student newspaper of the college, Tufts University, or whatever. And the last I checked, that wasn't illegal. Nor was it supporting Hamas. They do this really fast because they know a judge is going to stop them. I told you this before. They know what they're doing is illegal. It's not like oh, they're just figuring it out in real time it's illegal. No, they know it's illegal. They're doing it anyway. Her name is Rumeysa Öztürk. She's 30 years old, a doctoral student at Tufts University. Like I said, whose only crime, it appears, was writing an op-ed in support of the Palestinians in a college newspaper. Same as Mahmoud Khalil. Mahmoud Khalil still hasn't been accused of a crime. It's just some vague reference to he supports Hamas. You know, what does that even mean? If they can say that about them, they can say that about anybody. If you've ever said anything pro-Palestinian or anti-Israeli, like, you could support Hamas. I mean, according to these guidelines. Very loosey-goosey with the guidelines. Not to mention, the puppy killer, Christy Nome, was down in El Salvador yesterday, touring that prison. You know what she didn't do? They made a film, basically an ad. Like I told you, it's a reality TV show that they're trying to produce here. They're trying to scare you with the images of this prison. But what she didn't do while she was there was try to ascertain if these stories are true, that there's innocent people in there. You know why they didn't do that? Because they know there's innocent people in there. Just like I told you before. They know that they sent people there who aren't in gangs, who aren't criminals. They might be illegal immigrants, but that doesn't mean that you should be locked up in a supermax prison in El Salvador. Come on, man. Like I said, if they're not criminals now, they'll be criminals by the time they get through with that fucking place. Or they have a supreme hatred of the United States. And you know what that means. You know what that creates. I can't believe we still haven't learned these lessons. So, JD, I was talking about this last time, and there was a survey in Greenland. 87% of people said that they didn't want to be part of the United States. 87%. So, they're trying to send Vance's wife over there. They have PR people go around door to door and try to find anyone that would let Usha Vance come for a visit. And you know what happened? Everyone in the country said no. Everyone. They couldn't find one single household that would welcome the Vance family in. So now they're just going to the military base. They canceled all their social part of the trip because it'll just be people telling them to fuck off everywhere they go. I don't know how they say fuck off in Danish. I need to look that up. If anyone you can tell me, I said you can comment on the feed. If you look it up for me, how do you say fuck off in Danish? I'd do it right now, but I don't want you to have to watch me fumbling around any more than you already have. I don't know how I got logged out of the chat box. I told you I'm not tech savvy. But it's back on now, so you can talk to me if you want to. Julia will pop up sooner or later. So yeah, so they had to cancel the rest of the trip. Because nobody wants the Vance family anywhere near their fucking... I don't blame them. You definitely don't want them around your couch. When JD comes in, oh, that's a nice couch you got there. What is that? Seal leather? I don't feel like I need to explain this. I mean, the guy may or may not have fucked the couch. Allegedly. Yeah. Hey, Julia. That's what I said. I was like, oh, I'm never going to pop up eventually. I'm glad you messaged, though, because I said I got kicked out of the chat somehow. I had to sign in again. And then I was like, can I remember the password? I'm a fucking idiot, you know. Anyway, so there's now there's two. Mahmoud Khalil is not a citizen, but he's a permanent resident with a green card. This woman is a doctorate student at Tufts University. She has a visa, which they canceled. I'm not sure if she has a green card. Didn't say. But either way, she did not. They cannot demonstrably show that she committed a crime. Apparently her crime was writing an op-ed in a college newspaper, like I said. And for that, she's detained and was shipped off to an ICE facility in Louisiana, the same one where they had Mahmoud Khalil. I believe he's still there, even though I think the judge said they had to move his case to New Jersey, but I haven't heard that they moved him out of that place. But if you haven't seen this video, I mean, this is some shit that you would see like in, like I said, Cold War Russia, where like these dudes just surround her dressed in black. Some of them got masks on. Why they got masks on their faces? Why don't they say ICE on their fucking clothes? Who are these people? Apparently there's a list. Marco Rubio claims that they've canceled 300 student visas. Or I don't even know if they're just student visas. 300 visas that he claims that they've canceled for people that they say support Hamas. But yet they can't, like I said, demonstrably show that these people supported Hamas, like materially or operationally. Like apparently they just protesting in favor of Palestinians not getting bombed every fucking day is a crime now. Remember when these people claimed that they were the free speech people? We're the free speech people. You know, we got to be censoring us. Now they want to lock people up for saying shit? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's just like this fucking Signalgate thing. Did you watch that? It's like the United States government is like the equivalent of like a 5-year-old little boy with chocolate frosting all over his face, and they go, "Did you eat that whole cake?" "No, I didn't eat that cake." "I know, there wasn't even a cake there." And you're like, this is the U.S. government. It's embarrassing. Frankly, it's embarrassing. It's gaslighting on a level I don't believe anyone's ever seen. You're like, here's the messages. Oh, that's not true. It's like, what do you mean it's not true? Well, Jesse Waters like, well, ain't you ever texted the wrong person? Everybody's texted the wrong person. Yeah, but not classified war plans. Matter of fact, I don't believe I've ever texted the wrong person, but I mean, it happens. But I accidentally texted the nuclear launch codes to the level of just unrepentant bullshit is, and the level of that people will take, I find fascinating. Because I told you before, this is going to be the biggest psychological experiment you've ever seen in your life. Of how much do these people have to take before they'll admit that they were wrong. And so far, it's like North Korea level shit. Like, they're like, oh, he's the greatest. This guy was on the crazy guy that went to prison, Peter Navarro, I believe his name is. Now he's a presidential advisor. She's fresh out of prison. He went to prison because he wouldn't testify in front of Congress about the other fucking criminal shit that Trump did when he was president the first time. But anyway, he's the guy who was at the Republican convention going, if they can do it to me, they'll do it to you. It's like, yeah, well, not if you don't commit crimes. You know, it's like, you know, the answer to all this is very simple. You know, it's like, how about you? It's like, it's not fucking, ask Elon Musk, he'll tell you it ain't rocket science. So just tell the truth and don't commit crimes. And you won't have all this trouble with the law and judges. And now they're like, oh, these judges they're crooked, they're activists because they're making us follow the law. It's like, it's unbelievable. And guess who got the Signal case? And he already did, the same guy This guy Broadman or whatever, this judge, he's got all these cases. He's got 4 or 5 cases now. They're all in front of the same guy. This guy that's fucking ain't taking no shit from him. He already put an injunction on the Signal thing, told them they gotta save every message that they fucking sent between, I forget what it was, May 5th and May 11th. Or either way, because like I said, what they're trying to do is get around the records law. There's a law. I don't know if you know this, but there's a law that says that all the administration records must be kept. That's why it's National Archive. So that people can look back and see what the presidents have done and the mistakes that they've made and maybe try to correct them. And to prevent people from committing crimes. It's like, it's not that hard to figure out. And these guys can't not commit crimes, so they're like, let's just go on Signal, because Signal automatically deletes all your shit after, like, I think that the chat that they were in, it said on the top of it, said they're set to delete in 1 week or something like that. And then those apps delete your messages and they just disappear. Now, I don't know if it's like and if you delete stuff off your phone, FBI or something can go in there and get it. They can still find it. Like real tech dudes can dig it out. It never really goes away. Or it's in a cloud somewhere and they can retrieve it. I don't know how Signal works, how their deleting process works. I don't know if they could be recovered once it was deleted. I don't know. But the judge ordered an injunction today, told them that they got to save all these messages. All of them, and not delete any of it. I'm sure they'll delete it and say, well, we'll delete it already. Oh, and the Trump brought out the old standby. It's a witch hunt. Their entire playbook is like 1 page. It's like it didn't happen. It didn't happen like you said it happened, or it didn't. It's a witch hunt. There's nothing here. They're making a big deal out of nothing. It's a witch hunt, or it's a hoax. It's a witch hunt, and that's their. It's like the Spanish Inquisition, I guess. It's their one thing. No, wait, 2 things. It's like 5 things that they use. And then they just dig in and lie and hope that shit will go away, And usually, for Trump, it has. But he hasn't been the president of the United States when something like this happened. This is a bit different than being a candidate or ex-president, I guess, I mean, come on, we all know he only ran for president again. Well, at this point, people used to say that he was only running for president to stay out of prison, but I don't know if I believe that anymore. He likes his power. He likes it. And he's flexing it. And he's flexing it as far as he can until someone stops him. And if you've gotten downhearted and you're losing hope, here's something for you. They had a special election in Pennsylvania for state senator now. It's not for nationwide office. But still, in a district that had been Republican for 130 years. Republican. Guess who won? Democrat. And then guess what happened? That was yesterday, I believe. And then guess what happened today? Trump was running or nominating a representative from the House to be the UN ambassador, I believe, some cabinet post. And then he rescinded her nomination because now they're afraid that they'll lose the election. And Trump won the district that she's from by 21 points. That should tell you something. And that should tell you something about what's going to happen If you thought, what was it, 2016 when they lost it? Was it 20? No, it was, I can't remember what it was. Where they said the Republicans were going to win the landslide congressional, midterm election. The Republicans are going to cruise to a victory. And they got their asses handed to them. Well, that's what's going to happen now. Times 2. And I hope to God that we can get rid of some of these fucking pieces of shit that have been there forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. The James Comers and the fucking Martin Boberts and the fucking, get them out. These are not serious people. I don't understand why we keep electing these people who clearly aren't serious people to positions of power in the government, and then we wonder why our lives don't change or why nothing happens. Marsha Blackburn in Tennessee, prime example. Everyone claims they hate her guts, but yet she still wins every year. Reliably wins every year. They send her back to the Senate to do absolutely nothing except bitch and moan and complain and attack people. And none of these people are serious people. They don't have any ideas of how to make your life better. They're all nutlickers that follow the fucking whatever they're told. And they're brainwashed. Marjorie Taylor Greene was yelling at some reporter from England yesterday. It was like, go back to your country. No one cares about your opinion. Go back where there's migrants. And she starts with the internet shit, What about the migrants in your country? Women being raped. All the shit that Elon Musk fucking posts, every 5 fucking seconds. These people, like I said, they have constructed a world that isn't real. It's filled with boogeymen and fear and terrifying, and it's not even real. I mean, yeah, there's things that happen out there, but nothing is ever what they say it is. They take everything they can find that's negative and they blow it up to the biggest possible, to turn it into a threat to you. It's a threat to you. This mythical shit that's probably not happening. Like that Catbot story we were talking about. Joe Rogan sees something on the internet about kids dressed up as cats and want a cat box, and then he goes on his show. This is real. This is another thing that just happened. Joe Rogan put on a fucking vaccine skeptic on his show, and who says polio ain't that bad. And of course, who says, oh, it's the real history of vaccines, it's horrible, blah, 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 mostly bullshit. And Joe Rogan's like, Joe Rogan is always, this is his classic thing too. He has somebody like that on his show, and then all of a sudden, that's his opinion. That's how deep of a thinker he is. He doesn't go, well, maybe I should go and research this topic. He doesn't say, this is exactly what he said. He said in his own post, he said, whoa, this is fascinating. I would have never thought to dig into the history of vaccines until I talked to this person. And then, so his whole entire worldview is now just this other person's opinion. Basically. He's like, he admitted, I didn't know nothing about this. I talked to this one person, and oh my God, this is how fucking stupid these people are. That is not like a study. That's not like saying, oh, that's like me saying, because I'm friends with Daniele, who's a history professor and does History on Fire, and that makes me all of a sudden a history professor because I've spent several hours talking to Daniele and I feel like I've absorbed all of his knowledge. It's a ridiculous premise. And it shows, like I said, that these people aren't deep. He's not deep thinkers. They're not. He's not full of fucking philosophical fucking ideas. He's a goddamn. No, I see you. I'm sorry, I was on a tangent. You say he was ordered to run for president by Putin. Of course he was. Of course he was. We all know that. Well, I'm crazy. I said that in 2015. It's like, I don't know what people think is going to happen. Like I said, when we don't have any friends left in the world except for Russia, and all he wants to do is stab us right in the fucking back, fast as he can. If you think for 1 second that you can trust that motherfucker, you're dumb as a mother. I mean, like I said, oh, I got sidetracked. So this guy Navarro, Peter Navarro, right? He was on TV just a few minutes ago, right? He's trying to explain how this tariff thing is how it's not going to wreck the economy like everybody says. And the guy that said that, he disparaged him somehow. But him trying to explain, he's like, we're not thinking short term. This is a long term strategy. See, what's going to happen is we're going to put these tariffs on, and then we're going to get the tariffs. And then they're going to get money, but what's going to happen is manufacturing's going to come and start, firing up here in America, and then we're going to, and that's going to, then we're going to get this tax cut, and the tax cut is, it's going to give everybody a tax break if they buy a car. So what we're going to do is we're going to fire up the auto industry, and then we're going to give everybody a tax break so they can buy a new car, even though they can't afford it. But it's like the meme of Charlie Day with the fucking chalkboard with all the strings and shit on it. It's like, this is how it's all gonna work out. And you go, okay, let's for 1 second, let's humor your stupid ass fucking idea that all these crazy things are going to happen. They line up, and he's like, we're going to get the gas price down, and then the gas price in the cars are going to, even though they just put 25% tariff on the cars. But let's humor them, okay? Let's say that their long-term vision is on track, right? It's not going to happen in 4 years, bro. It's not. There's no fucking way. All that stuff's gonna happen in 4 years. You're gonna fire up all these, rebuild a bunch of factories and fire up a bunch of auto plants and then get everybody working in higher level wage jobs. Okay, like I said, let's say your theory is correct. That's gonna take 5 to 10 years, minimum. Yeah, there was the CHIPS Act, but they canceled that already. And green energy. Those jobs, Julia says those idiots, manufacturing was already coming back. Biden's Inflation Reduction Act was funding new plants. Yes, but they already cut all that money off. They already killed the CHIPS Act. And the Infrastructure Act, cut that off too. We're supposed to have a bridge here to replace the bridge here that's going to fall down here in a few years if they don't. It's been shaking for a long time, and pieces been falling off of it. I mean, I'm talking about for my entire life. 25 years. For the last 25 years, the Brent Spence Bridge that goes across Ohio to Kentucky on Interstate 75 shakes like a motherfucker, and like I said, pieces of concrete fall off of it all the time. It's an old bridge, and like I said, it needs to be replaced 20 years ago. But they've been fighting over who was going to pay for it. Well, the Biden Infrastructure Act gave them a bunch of money, so they finally were like, all right, we're going to do it. And now it's all up in the air if they're going to get the money or not, because Trump held up all the money. So if they don't build us a bridge here, and the bridge falls into the fucking river with a bunch of people on it, that's Trump's fault. Period. Anyway, like I said, their long-term plan, or whatever, is to take 5 to 10 years minimum to make all that happen. There's no fucking way you're gonna fire up a bunch of fucking. You're gonna turn the whole manufacturing. First of all, we're not a manufacturing country anymore. We're a service economy. Like, whether or not you agree with that. Okay? In the manufacturing, it's hard to make things here when other countries can do it. Oh, there's Ken. Thanks, Ken, for tuning in. When other countries can do it so much cheaper, it's hard to compete with that, isn't it? So what happens is they have car parts and other things made in other countries, and they ship them here, and then we have assembly plants where we assemble all the parts. Well, Trump's idea is that he's going to tariff all this stuff, and it'll be cheaper for them to make a factory that makes engines here in the United States than it would be to pay these tariffs. But here's the catch. They want higher wages for these people, which is going to drive up the cost anyway. So either you go, okay, I'll build a plant in the United States and have higher wage workers and still pay the same price for these parts, or I just pay the tariff and pass that off to the consumers, and that's what's going to happen. I mean, I'm not an economist, but I'm not even a multi-million-dollar, corporate businessman. But it seems to me like if the cost is basically the same, it's just easier to continue importing the shit and pay the tariff than it is to fucking build a fucking plant, and you got to hire all these people, then you got to pay them a pension and all this other shit, insurance that goes along with it. Why would you do that when you could still just have your parts shipped from Canada or wherever else and just pay the fucking tariff? I mean, but they're also very fucking stupid, which is the only thing that's saving us right now. They're like the idiot Nazis, like they're Nazis, but they're just not that smart. They're fucking dumb. 2 months in, they lost a district that has been Republican for 130 years. What does that tell you? Now, I guarantee you, like I said, because it's a giant psychological experiment, if you go there, I bet you won't be able to find those people that'll say they regretted voting for Trump, but yet they went in there and voted for that Democrat. And they won't tell you, but they did. It's going to happen more and more, because what they're doing is not popular. That's why they got to ram it in fast as they can. It's not popular, They keep losing in court, so Mike Johnson's talking about we could get rid of the courts. Really? I don't think it'd be that easy. I mean, the courts are a co-equal branch of government. You can't just, and it's in the Constitution, you can't just take away the court. Yesterday, or I don't know, it was the other day, the Supreme Court voted 7-2 to keep that ban on ghost gun parts, which is one of the first times that the gun lobby had lost in the Supreme Court in a long time. And I think you're going to find that even some of these Roberts and I'm going to tell you this. I think I was wrong, and I don't say very often because it doesn't come up. But if I am wrong about some shit, I always try to cop out to it. And I think I was wrong about what's her name, Amy Coney Barrett. Be a person that has principles and tries to follow the law, and she hasn't been afraid to be the deciding vote on a couple of cases already in her short career. So much so that they were going after her. The Megan was calling her a DEI hire. It's like, well, he hired her. It's like Trump hired her. She's DEI. You know what wasn't happening when the DEI people were on the job? Top secret military plans weren't being texted out to random people. And if you had retained any doubt in your mind that Fox News was a real news channel, all you gotta do is watch it for the last couple of days. They are not a serious news channel whatsoever. They're they're trying to push this. Well, you tested the wrong person before. It's not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal. These people were in Russia. You know that? Guys on the chat using his phone in Russia, inside the Kremlin, probably, waiting for a meeting with Vlad. And he's talking about this shit. But I said, everybody's making too big a deal out of that because, I mean, they already worked for him anyway. They probably just emailed him the fucking screenshots of the whole conversation anyway. It's not like he even had to work. There was an article today that said, the real crime or the real problem that no one's talking about is how easy they've made it for them to just steal all the secrets that they want. It's like they like opened up the bank vault and fired all the security guards and everything's wide open. They were like, isn't even spying when it's this easy to steal your most precious national secret. They come to find out, fucking Mike Waltz and Hegseth, that they got their Venmos listed public. They got their phone numbers are out on the internet. Der Spiegel, this German newspaper, looked them all up, found all this information, found their email addresses and passwords. If Der Spiegel can do that, you think the KGB ain't done that, or China? Come on, man. This is a clown show of epic proportion. It makes that meme of the dog sitting in the fire saying this is fine seem like nothing. Like, it's way worse than that. It's like sitting at your house watching a nuclear mushroom cloud up on the hill and going, this is fine. Everything's going to be good. And Trump uses the same thing. Oh, I don't know nothing about it. What do you mean you don't know nothing about it? You're the president of the United States, bro. They're talking about a bomb strike on another country. You don't know nothing about it? Oh, here's another thing you don't know. In that Der Spiegel report, and they looked up all this stuff, the phone that Hegseth uses to confirm his email is a Russian phone with the country code 7 plus 7, which is Russian. Like, why you got a Russian phone, bro? These people, all these people, they're fucking Russian agents. They're, Russian pawns. Tulsi Gabbard, today the Tulsi Gabbard was hearing, they asked her, did you tweet this fucking RT thing, which is Russian propaganda? And she says, that was on my personal account. And like, yeah, but you're the director of national intelligence. You're supposed to be tweeting out Russian propaganda. And she's like, well, this is a free speech issue. Like, no, it's not a free speech issue. It's a treason issue. It's the very fact that we're sitting here talking about this like it's nothing. Yeah, it's a good question. Why has he got a Russian phone? Why is she tweeting Russian propaganda? Why does it seem like everything goes back to Russia, but yet all you hear is the Russia hoax? Because when they say something's a hoax, that means it's fucking real, bro. This should taught you that. Those text messages were right there in your face, okay? There's no denying it. And they still tried to say this is a hoax. They didn't get away with it, but they tried. Because that's what they do. They say it's a hoax, and they attack the journalists, and usually it'll go away because it's not that big of a deal. But this is a big fucking deal. It ain't going away so fast. And then now they don't know what to do because their playbook that usually works for them ain't working. And more dumb shit's coming out all the time. So I said, they switched their Venmo lists to private because once Der Spiegel published them in a magazine, I told you, dude, it's like the equivalent of a kid like a busted cookie jar on the floor. He's got cookies all over his fucking mouth, and he's like, I didn't eat them cookies, bust that jar. All you can do is laugh because it's fucking scary because I do not feel safe. I mean, beyond the fact that I don't feel safe that the jackboots aren't going to show up and put me in a van and drag me off somewhere. But I mean, not only do I feel uneasy about that, but I also feel uneasy that the people running our military now and basically burned every bridge that we have in the world, and they're fucking stupid. So, buckle up. You know, I've never been a big fan of the military coup. But all of a sudden, I'm thinking to myself, this guy who's the Joint Chiefs of Staff that they didn't allow onto that chat about attacking people, he should take the military and they should just fucking military coup these motherfuckers. And then we'll have another election. And good luck, Republicans. I mean, we'll have an election. I'm not saying military should take over the country and stay in power. Like, no, they should just oust these fucking traitorous, treasonous Russian fucking hacks out into the fucking street. And we have another election. So get yourself a candidate. Because all you got is Russian nutlickers. The whole fucking party is compromised. Good luck. Like I said, they lost a district they've held for 130 years. That's a long fucking time. They lost. Now, it wasn't very big. He won by 400 something votes. But still, it's only going to get worse. It's only been 2 months. They're already losing. So that's why he couldn't run that representative for the UN post, because they're worried that they'll lose a seat in the House, and they only have like a 3-seat majority. They need every fucking vote. If they lose one person, they ain't going to be able to fucking smash that conciliatory budget that they want to do. So he rescinded the nomination and sent her back to the House. And I'm not sure when they're going to run. Sooner or later, they have to have a special election in Florida to fill Matt Gaetz' seat. I don't know when that is. I have to look that up. But there's another opportunity for them to lose a seat. Because right now they got some nutlicker, appointee. I can't remember who it is. DeSantis appointed somebody. Might be his wife, even. As far as I know. I don't know. And Donald, what's his name? Ruckus. I think he's gonna run for governor of Florida. So if he, I don't know if he can still have his seat and run for governor at the same time. I have to look it up. But there's another chance for them to lose his seat. So like I said, he's looking at all this and he goes, "Oh, I can't lose this woman." So he puts her back in. But I'm telling you right now, that tells you that they know. They're fucking scared, like I said, because he won that district by 21 points. You'd think, oh yeah, they just find another Trump nutlicker and fucking run him. But no, that ain't going to work now. Elon Musk is in Wisconsin trying to buy this Supreme Court seat. He's giving away the $1 million again. Sign this petition. They give you $100, you get a chance to win $1 million. And then he gave somebody $1 million, he gave somebody $1 million. I don't know how that's legal. And like I said, once again, when we can get the power back, we need to change that shit. They need to write a law and get rid of Citizens United and put caps back on the campaign spending, because as we can see, this whole corporations or people thing ain't really working out, is it? You know, all you did was give, like I said, Elon Musk the ability to just run around and give people money. It's basically buying votes. It's fucking the most corrupt thing you've ever seen. And that's what's important. If you live in Wisconsin, you got to get out and vote in that election. Because he can't be like, what needs to happen is he needs to spend all this money he needs to spend, and he needs to lose anyway. Because he's a rich guy, man. He don't like losing money. If he loses like that a couple times, he'll stop doing it. You got to show you can't be bought. You rich guy can't even just buy elections. As I said, I think that we can all agree that the Citizens United decision was an unmitigated disaster. We've gone right down the shitter ever since then. And these corporations, I said, they just buying all these politicians. But come to find out, like I said, the billionaires had already bought off the Supreme Court. You know, they were giving Thomas all these free gifts. You know, like that's what that was all about, man. They wanted to get that decision, and they got it. They paid for it. They bought them all. Alito and Thomas, for sure, took a bunch of free shit from billionaires. And why are these billionaires giving them free shit? Because they wanted to legalize bribery, basically. And that's what they did. And ever since then, I said, we've been in this fucking cycle of shit. You think for 1 second, and I said, I just wonder, like I said, how long it's going to take. How long is it going to be before these people will come out publicly and say, all right, we fucked up. We made a huge mistake. And this is the other thing that people need to take away from all this. Yeah, right? Julia says, I'd like to see Republican voters come to their senses, tell people they'll vote for the R's, and then when they vote for the Dems. Yeah. Or just say, fuck off, I'm leaving the Republican Party. How about that? That's what needs to happen. People need to leave the party until there's nothing left but MAGA people, and then fucking force them out. MAGA can be a third party that never wins anything, like the Libertarians, you know, which is just angry red hat fucking Nazis standing in the corner bitching, but they ain't got no chance to win nothing because you know, they already fucked everything up royally. That's what I always said about, that's when I was talking with Daniele about fascism, I said the same thing. Like, the fascists never learn. It never works for very long. Even when they get control. It's like, okay, you get control. Ah! And they start doing all kinds of crazy shit, and people go, whoa, hey, wait a minute. Like, hey, slow down, Captain Fascist. You know, like, it's taking a minute because I said life, most people just still living their lives, you know, playing pickleball or whatever the fuck they do. And they're not really thinking too much. Julia says they can still let them think they have their support and then surprise the fuck out of them. Well, that's what I'm saying, though, is that they've completely taken over the Republican Party. It's a cult now of fascists. So, like I said, all the sensible people, I said, election numbers better go way up. Because, turnout, I mean, you know, like, there ain't no more sitting home. You almost sat home and gave away your freedom. Like, and you still could have. We're not out of the woods yet. Like, you put us in danger. You put us all in danger. By checking out. That's why I hate people that say check out. Oh, both parties are the same. And I'm just going to sit back and just watch it all burn up. You know, and you're like, dude, the Democrat Party's not great, but they're not fucking fascists. It's right now, if you go to vote right now, there should just be two boxes. It should say fascist or not fascist. Because let me tell you something right now, MAGA are fascists, bro. And then you have this bullshit. Oh, you can call anybody you don't agree with the fascists. No, when you're disappearing people and kidnapping them off the fucking street and not even committing, accusing them of a crime and not allowing them to have a due process and shipping them off to supermax prisons in third world countries, you're a fucking fascist, bro. So for now, let's just simplify it so people can understand. You just make the ballot say fascist or not fascist. And I guarantee you, we'll win every time. Especially now. Like before, they could get away with that gaslight of, you just tell people you don't agree with fascists. Like, no. We've seen what you're doing now. It's fascism, bro. Trump is attacking law firms. He's going after universities. This is all fascist 101 playbook, bro. He's trying to squelch anybody that might, call him out for breaking the law. And he's trying to force these universities into scrubbing their curriculums of things that he doesn't like or approve of. Because what they want is like a state school that has flags everywhere and Bibles and fucking brainwashing. That's what they want. That's why they're trying to destroy the Department of Education. So that they can put everything back to the states. So states like Oklahoma, that they made them put a Bible in the classroom. Yeah, exactly. States like that. I mean, states like Alabama, they had to be forced to integrate their schools because they wanted to have segregation. Yes. Yes. States like that. Right? They want them to have the control. Why? Because they want to brainwash these kids. You want to ban any books they don't like? Julia says, do I have a storm in the area? The stream keeps hiccuping. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. It is cloudy and raining outside, so it's possible. Sorry. Anyway, that's what it's all about. That's why the Atlantic magazine, if you don't have a subscription, you should go subscribe, because there you go. It tells you that there are still real journalistic outlets out there that won't bend the knee and will tell you the truth. What they want is a bunch of, like, the Washington, like we were talking about that before. The Washington Post used to be the greatest newspaper in the world. Now it's a shit rag because Jeff Bezos is bent the knees to Trump. And doesn't want to print nothing that might piss off Trump because, he's got a lot of business interests and he don't want no trouble. That's another thing the fascists do, is they scare the business people. They say, well, we'll come after you somehow if you don't do what we want, We'll make it hard for you to do business, And they can. They can. This was hilarious today that Canada said, well, fuck Trump and his tariffs. This is basically an attack on us, which it is. And they said, we'll do what we got to do to fight back. And they were talking about making some kind of economic deal with the EU. And then Trump comes out, well, Canada and the EU make a negotiated deal to you know what will happen? More tariffs! It's like that's the only thing you know. There'll be more tariffs and more tariffs and more tariffs. I like how Trump thinks that the whole world could just say, you know what, fuck you, and just stop sending us anything. And Like they can't find other places to sell their shit. Like, I mean, sure, we're one of the biggest countries in the world, and we have a lot of money, but the average person doesn't have that money. We got a lot of billionaires now, but everybody else is struggling, man. Got a lot of debt. That's what we got, a lot of debt. They're about to raise the debt ceiling. That's the whole thing about why you know Doge is bullshit. Doge got to cut the government, the size of the government, because we're going to go bankrupt. I mean, here's our budget with a $7 trillion deficit, and we're going to raise the debt ceiling so we can borrow more money. This is their economic policy. And we're going to piss off everybody we do business with. And threaten to take over countries. I don't know how anybody thinks that this is going to work out. And then you go in line and they go, he's the greatest president ever, this guy. The people that think that he's the greatest president ever, if you've ever talked to these people, have you ever talked to any of them? I try to talk to them all the time. None of them understand anything. They don't know how anything works. You know, all they know is the propaganda they've been fed their entire lives, Republican propaganda about how colleges are, liberal fucking brainwashing factories, and that they believe that bullshit that Trump says. These countries have been ripping us off, and it's like, you got ripped off by rich people here, bro. Not by any other countries. Who wrote them trade policies? The rich people here. It's like Ross Perot tried to tell them back then. He's like, hear that, suckers now? That's jobs. Jobs going to Mexico. Jobs going to... Yes. Yes. That's what NAFTA was. It was corporations going, hey, if we just made a car factory in Mexico, we could pay people $2 an hour instead of paying people $25 an hour or whatever they paid them in Detroit. And that's what they did. You didn't get ripped off by anybody but Americans. The same Americans that you think are going to save you now. That's what's the most hilarious thing about it. Well, these rich people, they're going to save us. They care about us. They don't care about you. They don't give two shits about you. They never have. I've been shitting on you your whole life. And you just go, yes! He's a good Christian. This guy posted, he's a theology professor. What is it? Theological and philosophical professor at some university, and he put up this thing. It's a bunch of quotes. It was like, who said it, Jesus or Karl Marx? And everything he showed them, they all said was Karl Marx, but it was all Jesus. It was all Jesus quotes that they thought were communist. Because that's how deep it goes. Christianity is not what it once was. American Christianity has turned into like what the right wing is in Israel. Like a bunch of fucking religious fanatics that think that they should control everything. And that's what this country was put here for. Good white Christians to run everything and control the moral code for everyone else, even though they call us a free country. That's always been the hypocrisy of this country. It's like, you're not free. You're only free if you think like me. If you don't think like me, not so free. You know, we've always had. I mean, everybody has disagreements and everybody has different opinions about stuff, and that's fine. That's part of a robust, free society. But when you write an op-ed in a college newspaper, and all of a sudden they come and drag you off, now you got a problem, don't you? Not so free, is it? And then they say, "Oh, well, these people aren't citizens. They don't." You think they're starting with them. You let them get away with, like I said, just grabbing people with the vague, like, he's not even accused of a crime. Or he supports Hamas, or he's against the Trump administration. He must be a terrorist. Like, that's what comes next. And it'll be you. Or here's a hypothetical scenario. You are a citizen, right? I'm a citizen. Let's say, here comes those dudes, right? They take all your shit out of your pockets. Now you ain't got no identification or anything. Now you're whatever they say they are. You are. How are you going to prove that you're a citizen if you don't have no paperwork? And then all of a sudden you're on a plane to El Salvador. Next thing you know, you're locked into solitary confinement in supermax prison in a third world country. You ain't got no lawyer. But I'm a citizen. You were a citizen. I'm putting myself on the line for you. As I said, I'm a citizen born here. I'm a white male. So that gives me a lot of leeway. But they don't make me invulnerable. I've chosen to put myself out here. And I believe it's my civic duty to help save some people from themselves, because some people, obviously, they don't fucking understand. So it's fine if you don't understand. It's fine if you never studied the law. It's fine if you never read the Constitution. I'm here to try to explain it to you in a simple way that people could maybe understand. And if you know somebody that needs this kind of learning, you should turn them on to me. Because I said, that's the idea of this show. I know you ain't got time to watch all the news, but I do. So I'll do it for you. If you don't know what's going on, turn on this show and I'll tell you what's happening. And I promise I don't bullshit you. Now, a lot of this is my own personal opinion, but the facts. How many fax dollars? I believe they said it was $50 million up front that they paid him. I got to look up the exact figure. But no, they paid him several $1 million for the first installment. But see, that's another thing, is this whole thing is highly illegal. You can't just ship people to another country. That's why he's trying to use this Alien Enemies Act or whatever, because he claims, or Stephen Miller claims, that the Alien Enemies Act gives him carte blanche to do it with whatever he wants with these people. The law is really, you can't just ship people to another fucking country. Like, that's it. That's why the deportation, like, the other country has to agree to take those people. Now, Venezuela rescinded their, they said they weren't going to take people, but then they saw what happened to those people, got sent to El Salvador, and then they said, hey, wait a minute, we'll take them. He said, because we don't want that to happen to our people. And that was I think that's another reason why he did it, but he's using people as pawns. Like what I'm saying. People's lives, these are people's lives. You've got families, they're just like you. They got kids, they got wives, they got mothers, Their families now seen them. Like you wouldn't even know they were there, except for their fucking fancy reality TV fucking filming that they did. They showed people's faces, and people say, hey, wait a minute, that's Jorge. He's not a gang member. He's a hairdresser. What did they say? He's a hairdresser for MS-13. That's good, Kenneth. Well, you try to stay informed. I don't mean that. I just mean, like, That was the idea behind doing this thing. It's like a public service. Um, no, it has to be a declared war. Julia says we're not under attack. You can't evoke the alien enemy's attack unless we're under attack or attack is imminent. No, it says in the act it must be a declared war against a foreign nation. We don't have a declared war. It's not a foreign nation. Now he's trying to say it's an invasion, and that the Trail Agua or whatever is connected to the Venezuelan government somehow. And then there's some Breitbart bullshit going around now too, where they're trying to like pretend like it is. Now they have a connection. Now I don't know, but I know this: when right-wing publications start publishing highly illegal shit that people are doing, I take it with a grain of salt. I mean, I think if there was a real story to it, it would be all over the place, right? You'd think that there's a reporter somewhere that would want that story if it was true. Most of it is made up shit, like what's on RT or whatever. And like I said, all you gotta do is watch Fox News the last couple of days. You don't tell me that that's a legitimate source of unbiased news. It's a bunch of nutlickers, man. It's like North Korean TV. The Donald can't do nothing wrong, and this 100% should show you that it's a cult, bro. And everybody say, "Oh, that's cliche to say that too." Look, dude, if you cannot admit that these people fucked up by putting classified information over fucking Google Messenger, then you're in a cult, bro. Because that's fucked up. Even other conservative outlets that haven't lost their minds completely, like the Wall Street Journal and the New York Post, some Murdoch shit, we're like, hey man, this is some classified shit. Don't try to say this isn't classified information. Come on, man. It's like you're talking about what time planes are going to take off and what time they're going to bomb planes. Here's something else you might not know if you read through the text messages. They destroyed an entire residential apartment building because they wanted to kill one guy. Now, nobody's saying how many people lived in that building. I think they called that building and said, hey, you should probably get everybody out of there because we're going to blow the shit out of it. No. They blew up a residential apartment building, probably filled with innocent people, to kill one guy. And I don't even know if they killed the guy. It's really sad. I've been looking. I can't find it. Confirmation that this guy got killed. That they just said, oh, he walked in the building with his girlfriend. They know that. So he was in the building. But was he killed? Nobody says. I haven't seen a news story that confirmed that this person was killed. But either way, they blew up an entire building full of people to try to kill one guy. That seems a bit excessive, don't you think? And kind of evil. Some people say that that's a war crime. I don't know. I'd have to look up statutes. I mean, Putin's bombing the shit out of residential areas all over the fucking place in Ukraine, so I don't know how many of them were in that apartment building. Because they bombed more places than that, so I'm just saying that the very fact that you have enough gall to be like, well, fuck those innocent people. We're going to kill this guy. Oh, we're going to kill this guy and 40 other people. But it's like, really, man? And then they said, oh, we'll pray for him. We pray for our warriors as they bomb the shit out of these innocent people. It's like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? What kind of warped... This is why, again, why I'm not religious, bro. Because it's all a bunch of hypocritical bullshit. Christians try to tell you how great Christians, they call themselves Christians. They're posting like emojis and fire, like, oh yeah, we killed them shit out of them people. We got the one dude. It's like, yeah, you got 40 others. Well, that's the price you gotta pay, you know. Peace through strength, they call it. No, I call it being a fucking asshole. That's what I call it. Just because you have power doesn't mean it's just like the guy who's a badass, you know. Just because you can fight and you could probably beat up everybody doesn't mean, you know. And these nut lickers, man, they get more and more pathetic all the time because all they're doing is going farther and farther down their black hole and into their MAGA shell or whatever, because they know that the rest of us are going to turn against them. It's already happening. So they're digging in harder and digging in harder and digging in. It was hilarious because I guess Tim Walsh said something about J.D. Vance, and so Charlie Kirk was on Twitter, you know, he's got to defend J.D. Vance. And he's like, it was like some picture of some film of J.D. Vance shooting his rifle when he was in boot camp or some shit. And he's like, oh, Tim Walsh couldn't even load a shotgun. And so look at J.D. Vance shooting 50, you know, bullseyes in a row and just training, and you better just watch out. And you're like J.D. Vance is tough. You know, like, it's like, dude, J.D. Vance wrote press fucking releases from a trailer in Iraq. Do not kick the shit out of you and him. Charlie Kirk, fuck you. Neither one of you are tough guys. You just fucking talk shit, and nobody punch you in the mouth because you got a billionaire fucking friend. You know, I punch him in the mouth too. I'm fucking sick of you people. It's like J.D. Vance is not a tough guy. He's a fake tough guy. Like I said, he talk a lot of shit. He's one of them dudes that Mike Tyson was talking about. It was like, oh yeah, he talks a lot of shit. He's never been punched in the fucking mouth, you know. You know, some of us out here punching the mouth, bro. Charlie Kirk especially. Like, who the fuck is he? All these guys, we're alpha males, but they cry at the first fucking drop of a hat. They start crying like little bitches. You know, they're not alpha males. They're not tough. It's like those animals that puff themselves up, you know, and try to make themselves look all big and like, but like really they're just little fucking weasels or something. And you're like, you know, if you push the hair down, you're like, oh, yeah, you just crushed their fucking heads. And I said, J.D. Vance is a fake tough guy. And, yeah, Gummy McTeeth. That's what I call him. Charlie Kirk, Gummy McTeeth. He's got the weirdest fucking teeth. Yes, Julia says Charlie Boy Kirk's face too small for his face. Yes. He's got like a big balloon head and a little tiny face and big ass gums and little tiny teeth. It's like he looks like a product of cousin fucking. Which he probably is, because anyone that's that religious is inbreeding suspect. It wouldn't surprise me he's from fucking West Virginia or some shit. Not shitting on people from West Virginia. I'm just saying, if you're from West Virginia, you know, it's the same as Kentucky. There's some cousin fucking been going on. I was born in Kentucky. It's some cousin fucking going on. I've seen it. I've heard tale of it. Not as much nowadays, but when I was younger, oh yeah. Used to have arguments about how far, like, well, you can't fuck the first cousin because that's too close. But second cousin, no, but second cousin maybe, but third cousin for sure. It's safe for fucking. It's like an inbreeding debate. Like, well, you can't bang your first cousin because that's a little close. But you know, it's just like the rules. I don't know if the rules are a dog breed, but same shit. It's like, well, you maybe the second might be too close, but you could take a shot at it. But the third cousin for sure, you're free to go. The green light is on. Anyway, that's what Charlie Kirk looks like. Charlie Kirk looks like an extra from Deliverance. Like he's like the little kid, little inbred kid with the banjo. It's like that Charlie Kirk's like his brother. It wasn't nearly as bad. Like he's inbred, but not nearly as bad as the banjo boy. You know, it's like various stages of. Like he got the full on inbred treatment. Charlie just got the small capacity. Other than that, he's perfectly normal. I don't know. I amuse myself, obviously. I mean, there's nothing that you can do but laugh. I mean, it's all so ridiculous that if it wasn't real, I wouldn't believe it. If you told me that this was what was going to happen to my country, I would have. It's just like people that you know for a long time, and you loved them even maybe, and you thought they were really, decent, good people, and then you realize after years and years and years and years and years that no, that person's just shitbag like everybody else. And you're like, oh, if you just told me this even 5 years ago, that someone would have told me that you were a shitbag person, I'd have punched you in the mouth, But now I'm glad that didn't happen because I realized they were right. You are a shitbag person, and I was wrong about you. That happens sometimes. You just begin to realize, like, oh, I don't think this person gives a fuck about all the years that we've known each other and all the things I've done for them, or what we've gone through together, our shared experiences and all that shit. You're like, oh, no, nope. Nope, they forget all about you. They don't even talk to you hardly. You're like, I thought we were best friends. Obviously, I was wrong. You're a selfish shitbag like everybody else, but you fooled me. It's hard to be a good person in a world full of shitbags, man. It's hard. It gets harder and harder all the time. I say, but it's like sometimes it's like, man, it's harder and harder to hide my disgust with most of the human race. Especially the people that it's getting harder daily when you watch. You're like, I know these people voted for Trump, and I've tried to be like not hold it against them, but then when people are getting kidnapped off the street and shit, it's like, hey man, you're kind of fucking me over here too. Like, it's like you're fucking everybody over by giving away our rights. And you don't even seem to care or realize the gravity of the situation that you put us in. And it's hard to keep it inside. But I still do. Because, I'm sure they think that they... the truth is, like I've said to you lots of times, the truth is most of these people are just kind of fucking stupid. And they don't know. Even well, I mean, a lot of them are just stupid, but I mean, some of them are just ignorant. They don't realize the depth of. They're out of their element, Donnie. They're out of their element. No, what we need is the 33% or 34% of people that didn't vote to get the fuck up and vote. And this will never happen again. You know, you're the bulwark against all this. The more that they can tune you out and get you to not care and get you to stay at home and make it hard for you to vote. And, yes, it's a pain in the ass, but you see the alternative. So, you should think about that next time we come around. I'm not going to promise, but Daniele might be here on Saturday. I hope he is. Last week he was doing something with his daughter, so he couldn't join us. So hopefully he'll be here on Saturday. And I said I'm not going to swear that he is, but he said if he was available, that he would come on Saturdays. So hopefully he's available. And as always, I thank you guys for hanging out with me. And Kenny, thank you, Kenneth. And I'm sorry if I called you Kenny. That bothers you. And Julia, as always, thank you for being here. I'll be back on Saturday. And like I said, think about it. And think about these people. I said, there's people in El Salvadorian prisons. These 2 students who are, they're the test cases. Don't let them get away with it. And I said, if they lock them up for talking, they'll lock you up next. Or me. Or any of us. So, please. I am Bruce Leonard, and this is Bruce Leonard Leans Left. While it's still legal at the moment. So, I'll see you on Saturday. Thank you. Good night.